Welcome back, everybody, to another deep dive.
Yeah.
We love to just really get into the nitty-gritty of a topic, and today is no exception. So, we're going to be taking apart dopamine detox, the short guide to eliminating distractions and training your brain to do hard things.
That's the goal.
That is the goal. And we are going to break it down chapter by chapter today.
I love that. I love structure.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
So that you, the listener, can easily apply these techniques to boost your productivity, sharpen your focus, and break free from all those instant gratification traps we find ourselves in.
Yeah, because it's a very fascinating approach to reclaiming control over your attention and ultimately your life.
Absolutely. Now, before we jump in, let's just, clarify.
Level set.
What a dopamine detox actually means.
Yes.
Right? So it's not about completely eliminating dopamine,
Right.
but rather intentionally reducing that constant stimulation that kind of hijacks our brain's reward system.
Yeah, just think of it as hitting the reset button on your brain's sensitivity to dopamine. Yeah, this will help you regain focus and motivation for those essential but maybe less immediately thrilling tasks.
Okay, so let's dive into part one of the book,
Okay,
Dopamine and the Role It Plays.
I like it.
The book kicks off with a little bit of a myth buster,
Ooh.
right? So dopamine isn't really about pleasure itself.
Yeah, it's more about the anticipation, the craving, that wanting feeling, and that distinction is crucial to understand why we often feel let down even after getting what we desired.
That's a great point. The book explains that this was evolutionarily advantageous. Dopamine pushed our ancestors to seek out food and shelter,
To survive.
ensuring survival. But in today's world, those survival instincts are triggered by things like social media notifications,
Oh, yeah.
the next level in a video game, or even that online shopping deal.
Or like that text message. Ooh,
Yeah,
right. Someone messaged me.
Right.
Oh, it's just a spam.
yeah, exactly.
But our brains haven't quite caught up to the modern world, so we're constantly bombarded with these dopamine triggers that don't necessarily contribute to our well-being.
So that brings us to the central problem that the book tackles.
Okay.
Part two.
Right.
The problem
Lay it on me.
highlights this idea of dopamine as the molecule of more.
Interesting.
The more we get to sendle, the more we crave, leading to a cycle of seeking out those quick hits of dopamine rather than pursuing long-term fulfillment.
And this is where things get really interesting because it's not just about our individual choices, right? The book reveals how technology with its algorithms and notifications is designed to hijack our dopamine systems and keep us hooked.
It's like those endless YouTube rabbit holes we fall into. One video leads to another, and before you know it, hours have flown by. But it goes beyond just entertainment.
Oh, for sure.
Think about work emails, social media, or even just constantly refreshing those news feeds. It's that same cycle of seeking out that next hit.
Exactly. And this constant stimulation impairs our ability to focus on tasks that require sustained effort and long-term thinking. The book uses a compelling example, Amazon's slow and deliberate path to profitability.
Okay.
They prioritize building a sustainable business over chasing quick profits, a strategy that ultimately paid off in the long run.
It's a powerful reminder that sometimes playing the long game, even if it doesn't offer those immediate dopamine rewards, can lead to greater success and fulfillment.
Yeah.
And I think that's something that we all can kind of think about today.
Yeah.
What is something that we've been putting off that we know we should be doing?
And that long-term thinking is where the benefits of a dopamine detox come in. Part 3 of the book, The Benefits of a Detox, the book introduces different approaches.
Yeah.
You've got the 48-hour complete detox, intense.
Intense.
You got a more manageable 24-hour version, and then you have this partial detox where you choose specific triggers to avoid.
Yeah, it's great that the book offers flexibility because, let's be honest, going cold turkey on all stimulation for 48 hours sounds a little daunting.
Yeah, I know, I get it. But even starting with a partial detox, like cutting out social media for a day, can be incredibly insightful.
Absolutely. The point isn't to become a hermit, but to become more aware of your relationship with stimulation
Yeah.
and how it impacts your focus, your productivity, and even your overall well-being.
For sure.
The book mentions these 10-day silent Vipassana retreats as an extreme example of dopamine detoxing.
Oh, wow.
Like no talking, no internet, no external stimulation whatsoever.
So that definitely highlights the spectrum of what a dopamine detox can be. The key is finding what works for you, starting small, and gradually building that awareness muscle.
So, okay, let's say you're ready to try a dopamine detox.
Okay.
Part 4, a 3-step method for a successful detox lays out a practical roadmap.
Nice. I like it.
Yeah, so the first step is identifying your biggest distractions. What's that one thing that if you stop doing, it would have the biggest positive impact on your life?
Oh, that's a good question.
Yeah, and it's not just about, knowing what you shouldn't be doing.
Right.
Right. The book also talks about creating a can list, identifying activities that actually ground you and make you feel productive.
Yes, exactly. It's about replacing those bad habits with good ones. Step 2 is all about adding friction to those tempting distractions and removing friction from the things that support your goals.
This is where getting practical with your environment is key.
Yes.
Right. So, for example, if your phone is a major distraction, try turning off notifications, putting it on airplane mode, or even putting it in another room.
Just out of sight, out of mind.
Exactly.
Uh-huh.
Anything to make that quick dopamine hit a little harder to access.
You got to put those hurdles in front of those things.
Exactly. On the flip side, remove friction from good habits.
Yeah.
If you want to read more, keep a book on your nightstand or in your bag.
Yeah.
Make it easy to choose the healthier option.
Yeah, or like if you want to work out, have your workout clothes already set out.
Exactly.
Just ready to go.
Yeah, and that leads perfectly into step 3. Starting your day with a calming routine before the stimulation onslaught. The book suggests things like meditation, stretching, or journaling.
I love that.
Anything that helps you feel grounded and centered before you dive into the emails, the news, or social media. Once you're on that dopamine roller coaster, it's much harder to get off.
It really is.
So now that you've detoxed and you've identified those distractions, let's talk about getting back to work,
Let's do it.
and specifically overcoming procrastination.
Okay.
Part 5, doing the work and overcoming procrastination, emphasizes the importance of planning your day with intention, not creating a rigid schedule,
Right.
but outlining 3 to 5 key tasks that truly move the needle on your goals.
Love it.
Yeah, the book suggests asking yourself, if I could only accomplish one thing today, what would make the biggest difference? That helps prioritize what really matters.
That's so good.
Yeah, and it's about focusing your energy on those tasks that often get pushed aside because they might feel overwhelming or challenging.
Right.
But remember, after a dopamine detox, you're in a much better position to tackle those important but maybe less immediately rewarding tasks.
Yeah, that's true. Now, the book dives into this interesting concept of closed versus open systems for getting work done.
Yeah.
A closed system helps you maintain focus. It's like working on a single document. There's a beginning and an end, and you're less likely to get sidetracked.
Right.
Whereas an open system like the internet is a breeding ground for distractions. The book challenges us to consider our own closed systems for productivity. Maybe it's silencing your phone working in a specific location, or using tools that block distracting websites.
Whatever it takes to minimize those dopamine-triggering interruptions and allow you to get into a state of flow.
Exactly. And that brings us to the final part of the book, part 6. Avoiding dopamine relapse.
Okay.
It acknowledges that falling back into old habits is normal, but the key is having a plan to get back on track. The book encourages us to identify those specific situations that trigger us to relapse. Is it checking social media first thing in the morning,
Oh, yeah.
scrolling through your phone when you're bored, figure out your weak spots, and then brainstorm ways to handle them differently?
Right. Being more proactive.
Yeah.
The world is designed to steal our attention. So we have to consciously choose to protect it.
Absolutely. And remember, this isn't about achieving perfection. It's about making progress, building sustainable habits, and becoming more mindful of how you're spending your time and attention.
It sounds like self-awareness is really the cornerstone of this whole thing.
It really is. The book suggests a 30-day challenge where you commit to these daily routines and techniques for reducing stimulation and reclaiming your focus.
Okay.
It's about turning these insights into lasting habits.
Yeah, that's a great way to solidify these changes. And for listeners who want to explore these ideas further, the book mentions other titles in their productivity series.
Yeah, those could be valuable resources. The core message throughout Dopamine Detox is that you have a choice. You can either control your focus or let it control you.
It's such a powerful way to put it.
By understanding dopamine and how it influences your behavior, you can reclaim your time and attention, using them to create a life that truly aligns with your values and goals.
It all comes back to intentionality, doesn't it?
Ex-
Making conscious choices rather than letting those dopamine triggers dictate our actions.
Exactly. And remember, even small changes can have a ripple effect over time.
Yeah.
So don't underestimate the power of making those seemingly insignificant adjustments to your daily routine.
It's been such a fascinating deep dive into dopamine detox.
Yes.
We'd love to hear from you.
Mm-hmm.
What resonated with you most?
What were your takeaways?
What aha moments did you have share your experiences and any tips you have for staying focused in our increasingly distracting world.
I mean, the power to change is in your hands.
Until next time, keep diving deep.